Hi everyone and welcome back. Now what I'm going to do, so we're currently in the data source pane. I'm just going to do a quick overview of Tableau. So if you click into sheet 1, these are our sheets where we can create our visualizations. So unlike Power BI, where we had our visualization options and keep everything in the one sheet, we actually have to create our charts in individual sheets, and we can continue to add sheets just beside by clicking on this icon. And then once we have, you can have multiple sheets and they'll all be individual charts, and then you put them together into a dashboard at the end. So our second icon here is where our dashboard is. And then our sheets will show up on the left hand side, and then we can just drag them all in and put our dashboard together. So I'll just delete our dashboard and our first sheet for now. And on the left hand side here, we can see our fields from our data source. So if we open up our data source, we have our VIN, which is the vehicle identification number, county, city, state. So the state is mostly Washington. Let's just filter it here and have a look. Yeah, there are many different states here, but I have looked through this before and I know that almost all of them are from Washington. So we'll probably just end up excluding the other states from this dashboard, just so that it's a Washington only dashboard. And then we have our year, make, model, and the type of vehicle. So you can look through all these just to see what the data contains, and then it helps us decide what we want to visualize. So we do have two unique identifiers here. We have the VIN and the DOL vehicle ID, but I'm going to use the vehicle ID so this is what I'll use to count the amount of vehicles, the distinct amount of vehicles. So let's say, for example, we could have our model year, which is the year of the vehicle, and then you can drag that into columns. So these will be our fields that we just drag and drop, and then DOL vehicle ID. It's going to sum it, but we don't want to sum it. We would want to, you can just click the arrow down, and then we could count the distinct. The trend is very similar, but this is a distinct amount of vehicle IDs depending on the year it was released. And at the top here is where we can change our chart type, but you can also do it on the left hand side under this marks pane here. So here we could change it to a bar chart, for example. And then we can filter our dashboard as well. So just in this filters box here, we can drag any field into it. So for example, if we only wanted to see after 2008, where the data really starts to appear, we could bring in model year again into filters, and then we could, it's currently at range of values, we could change this to 2008 and then apply it, and then it's going to just remove everything after it. It's showing 2007 there. But yeah, we're going to go over this in more detail later. But this will be one of our visualizations actually, where we'll have our model year and we will count how many vehicles are owned for that model year. Okay, and then we can add multiple sheets and rename these sheets similar to Excel, and then we'll add a new chart into this sheet, for example. So, and then once we get to our dashboard at the end, we can just drag those sheets into our dashboard, and then you would be creating your visualization. We would want to make our dashboard much bigger than this, which we can do here under size. I usually go with automatic, or you could make it fixed size, and then we could fix the width and height. Also, if you do ever want to save your workbook, we just click File and Save to Tableau Public, or Save to Tableau Public As, and it's going to ask you to log in, and then it will save it online. Now I know it's a lot different to Power BI, but there are many similarities as well. Rather than a measure where we'll be creating calculated fields, we can just click this arrow drop down box and create a calculated field, and it will allow us to add in fields together to calculate, like averages, for example. Or else you can also just right click this empty blank space and create a calculated field that way. But we'll go over all that later in this section. But that is it for the overview. In the next video, we will start to work and create our first visualization. But for now, I'm just going to delete the dashboard and the blank sheet, and let's just remove our pills, these are called pills, from our filters and our columns and rows, and we'll start from scratch. So I'll see you in the next video.